Hello, today we're going to go over refactoring the softlayer-cli project. We're going to be upgrading it to use the Cobra library instead of the refave CLI library. Okay, and today I'm going to show you how to refactor the invoices command, the softlayer account invoices command. So to understand kind of how all this is going to fit into each other, I'd like to start off in the plugin file. So that's going to be softlayer-cli plugin.go. The first thing we're going to look at is I've updated the run command. So it's going to create a new instance of Cobra Command. And that's what's actually going to run when a user types in the command on the CLI. And so that calls get top Cobra Command, which is down here at the bottom. And here it's defined. It sets up the Cobra command. And this part down here is where it adds each subcommand under that. So here we have the call API command being added. And here we have the account command being added. So right now, the softlayer-cli only really has two commands in it. And we'll need to add each of the other ones. So basically everything in here will need to have its own instance here. Okay? So we're going to look specifically at the account command today. So we go up to the plugin commands account and then account.go. Here we have set up Cobra commands, which is the new function I've added. And here it sets up the basic top level command. And here is where we add each of the commands specifically one at a time. So instead of get command action bindings doing this, set up Cobra command now does this. So here we have all the commands I've already done. And as I do each one, I'm going to comment it out in here so I know that I've done it. Account namespace, that's going to stay the same. And account metadata is no longer needed, so it's commented out for now. So we're going to work on invoices today. So for now, we will comment this out. Okay. We'll copy this and add our new invoices command here. So the pattern is it's going to create the new command and it's going to actually add the property called command instead of the command itself being returning. And I'll show you what that kind of looks like in just a second. We'll go over to invoices, okay? So this is the cobraRefactor document that has most of my notes and all the specifics that I've thought out. And we'll be going through this, using this as a reference while we update this command. So first things first, we need to switch out the library in the imports, okay? And we also need to make sure we have the metadata, the softlayer-cli plugin metadata import as well. So these two are important. Okay, so now we need to update the invoices command struct, okay, which is going to look something like this. Now, we don't need these comments. Okay, so first we have the metadata softlayer command. And specifying it like this without any variables in front of it, it basically means this struct is going to inherit all the properties of this one just directly. And we can see that that's defined in plugin command, it's plugin metadata SL. So that's defined right here. So we've got the UI, the session, and the output flag. So all commands that get converted to Cobra commands are already going to have the output flag in them already. So anytime you have a command defining that output flag, you can just remove it because it's already defined in all commands that we're going to add. Okay. So we got the struct set up. Now we need to change the new invoices command. Okay. So it'll take in one parameter, which will be the softlayer command. And it will return a pointer to the invoices command. Okay, and we'll just copy this real quick. Okay, So this command is going to equal the struct for invoices command. We set up softlayer-cli to be the thing we passed in. We set up a new account manager because you always need an account manager for the account stuff. If you're doing different commands, the manager itself might be different, right? You might not always need an account manager. It might be a hardware manager, a virtual manager, whatever. But whenever you define the manager, this is where you would do it. Okay. All right. Then we set up the Cobra command itself. So the use is going to be the same thing as the name. Okay. The use variable is kind of different. The use property is kind of different. And the first word is going to be the command name. And anything after that is going to get displayed in the help text and otherwise ignored. So we don't need this anymore, okay? We don't need to have this ugly translated string. We can just remove it. Options is already added. If you had any arguments to the command, you might do something like this. You need a space at the end. So you do a space plus, and then you translate like identifier or something. Okay. Right. And so this would basically look like this. I've done this already for a few of them. So like cancel item takes in an argument, which I haven't done. Let's see. Well, this one I have done. Invoice detail, I think I've done that on. So like on invoice detail, you see we have identifier here. And that is because on invoice detail, our use flag looks like this. And that way we don't have this ugly translated string. We can just remove it, and that takes out a lot of the junk that's in the translation files. But invoice doesn't have an identifier, so we can just remove that. Okay. So we need to update the short, which is going to be the same thing as the description. So we'll just copy this up here. The long, we don't really need, so the long description would be anything that would show up like here, right? The short text will show up as well, but any examples that we might need to add, any clarification of the usage, like on call API, we have a long text because I want this example to show up. But otherwise, the invoices command is pretty easy to use, so we don't really need a long. We can just delete this. So arguments, we can specify if this command takes any arguments or not. And that's defined in the metadata, again, in args. I've got a whole bunch of methods that specify how many arguments a command will take. So in this case, we have no arguments. So we say metadata.noargs. And what this will let us do is it'll throw an error if a user specifies any arguments at all. We've also got one args. So if you command takes exactly one argument, this is what you'll want to use. You can also say if you need more than one, like if it takes 2 or 3, you can say exact, minimum, maximum, arbitrary, only valid, etc. For us, we will probably only use no args or one args for the most part. Okay, so we've got that. The run e command is you're probably not going to update this. It's going to stay the same. It's going to say this command, which is our invoice command, .run, and it's going to send in the arguments. Okay, then we set this command.command equal to our Cobra command that we set, and then we return this command, and that's all done. I'm going to do that comment. Okay. Oh, we need to do the flags. That's right. Flags we need to add. Do I have a good example of flags? Okay, I don't. That's unfortunate. Okay, but call API has some good examples of how to set flags. All the flags we need to set need to be set here. They also need to have properties in the invoice command itself. So we've got what? Limit, closed, and all. Okay. So we'll do limit, which is a int. we'll do closed, okay, which is a bool, and all, which is a bool as well. Okay, so we got those set up. Then we do Cobra Command dot flags dot. So it's an int flag, so we do int var. So there's two types of flags you can set. You can do int var or int var p, like this, int var p. The difference is int var p has the short flag, and int var does not have a short flag. So since these just have limit, closed, and all, without any short options, we'll just do int var. Okay, then we specify the address of this command and the property we want to set it to, so limit. So now when you specify the limit flag, this property will have that value set into it. Okay, we do the name of the flag, limit. Then we do the default value, which will be, let's say, 0. And then we do the usage, okay. All right, I probably need a way to automatically do this. Need to figure that out. But for now, we'll just leave it in the text. So default is 50, so we'll say the default is 50, okay? Okay, so we'll do the second one, dot flags, bool var, this command, closed, okay, closed. The default is false, and our string, okay. All right, next one. Another bool var, dot all, default is false, and our string, okay. All right, and like I said, the output flag already added to the base command. And you can see that it's added here as a persistent flag, so we can see the output here. So here's where it's added in the base command. So all commands will have it, no matter even if they use it or not. Okay, so we got that. Now we can delete the metadata. We don't need this anymore. Okay, just double checking everything. Okay, all right, great. Now we need to update the run command. Okay, so it takes in the invoice command, which is great. And we just copy this. So run now takes in a set of arguments and returns an error. Okay. So output format. Basically, instead of having all this, we just say output format equals command.getOutput flag. And that'll return the string or an error if you put the flag in, right? So that takes care of everything for us. Okay, so limit. So limit, we're just going to set limit equal to command.limit. And we don't need any of this, because the default's set to 50 already. So if they don't put anything, it'll be 50. If they do put something in, it'll get set, which is fine. Okay, same thing for closed, cmd.closed. Okay, don't need this. All, cmd.all. Now, I don't really need to set these to anything. I could have just used them down here. Which I think I will do in this example, but when you're refactoring, it might be easier to just make as few changes as possible. So here I'm just going to do limit, closed, all, and delete these. Okay. Another thing we need to do, since we don't have the CLI anymore, we need to change CLI. So I've made a new error function that we can replace this with. So it's going to be this one right here. So we're going to do errors. Okay, new API error. And what it does, it takes in the string you want to tell the user, which is this. And then as a second parameter, it takes in the error itself. And as a third parameter, it takes in a number. The number right now, we're not really being used for anything. So I'm not having the CLI have custom exit codes anymore. It's just going to throw an error and we're going to deal with it. Because we didn't really do anything with the custom error codes anyway, except in the unit test, which was, I felt kind of annoying. So you can keep the number in here because the API takes it, this function takes it in. And I might do something with it later, but for now, just follow this pattern. Okay. The rest of this stuff I think is fine. Anything that calls cmd.ui is great. Like the table stuff, we don't need to change any of that. It should still work. Okay, I do need to import the errors package though. That's one thing I have not done. We do need to do. Let's see, where's a good example that's got it? Okay, so this is the package we need to pull in. Okay, so plugin errors. Right, so here's all the new API error I've put in is right here. And that's it. Okay, we do need to update the tests now. So invoice list tests. So the test examples I have are down here. Okay, basically this part is going to need to be changed. And we can basically just copy and paste this. Okay. You will need to update the command. So instead of a bandwidth pools command, which we don't want, we want an invoice command. And instead of new bandwidth pools command, we need new invoice command. Okay. And we do need to change the test helper. So I've got a nice search in place. So instead of run command CLI command, we're going to do run Cobra command CLI command dot command. Okay, so you just replace all of those. And that should be it. Okay, let's test. So first, make sure it builds. Okay, what did I miss? Line 26, unexpected new line. Okay. 26. Okay, this needs a comma. I always forget that. Okay, imported not used. We can delete that. Great. Okay, so it builds. Let's test it. Okay. So here's our help command. Flags, okay. All right, yeah, it looks like that works. Dash dash limit, I'll do 10. Okay, great. Yeah. And then we'll say maybe dash dash closed, dash dash limit 5. Okay, great. That looks like it's working. Now I need to test it. Okay, so we'll just do go test and then just the account test for now. Okay. Oh, and we need to delete some imports. So var managers. I'm not using managers. I guess not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this command doesn't use any of the fake managers, so we don't need the manager on this one. But for an example of how to use a fake account manager, like it's right here. Basically, you just set the command.account manager equals the fake manager you set up, and then you can use the command the rest of the way. And I don't need that comment, really. Okay, let's test again. Undefined. Okay, I need to import metadata as well. All right, and now our command is successful. And we've successfully refactored this command. So we'll do git status. We'll add our things. Okay. And at that point, we're done with that one command and we can move on to the next one. And hopefully that all made sense. If it didn't, please let me know. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you.